this marks 5 seasons of Love is Blind, which is wild. I'm curious what kind of led to your decision to want to join the show, and if you had any reservations. Like, was there anything that you were fearful of entering this experiment?
I mean, I think naturally anybody would be a little nervous going into something like this because it's so unique, it's
Yeah.
so different. But I mean, I was just ready to settle down. I wanted to try to take a different approach to dating. And I had been on the dating apps, didn't last very long, like 2 months, and I had deactivated my account saying, you know what, this isn't it. I
Yeah.
want something a little bit more authentic and less superficial. And this route provided that for us. It was a controlled environment to where we could really focus on building emotional connections. And I was actually really excited about it.
Uche, unfortunately, Aaliyah has decided to not continue with the experiment.
You ended up leaving the pods early. Walk us through that decision. What kind of led to you deciding that, this is not for me, I gotta go?
There were many factors that kind of contributed to that decision, but I'll just say overall, I felt like it was the best thing for me. I kind of had this gut feeling just after kind of really analyzing my interactions with Uche, Lydia, getting all the facts and things, and or at least hearing both sides of that situation, and just deciding like I didn't want to go into an engagement that way.
Right.
Being engaged it's a sacred thing to experience, and you're sharing that with family, friends, people that I love dearly and love me dearly. So it was something that I felt was best for me just moving forward.
We dated for a few months. I just didn't think that we were that compatible, so I ended things.
He told me.
You know?
Yeah.
You know?
Uche met me when I was a really low point in my life.
Yeah.
He was vulnerable with me. I was vulnerable to him.
Yeah.
Well, of course, it came out that Uche and Lydia actually knew each other prior to coming to the show, and you got it from both sides. You're hearing both sides of the story here. Did you at any point question either of their motives?
I think naturally anybody would do that, because I'm a very logical person. I think I'm emotional as well, but I have logic in me, and I think it would have kind of been naive to not question that. Right. On both sides. But I shared a lot with Uche, and he shared a lot with me as well in our dates, and I do feel he was being vulnerable with me in those dates. I do. Yeah. And so I feel like everybody just kind of navigated that situation the best that they could.
And I know Lydia was your girl too. I mean, you guys really formed a bond, on the show. Where do your relationships with Uche and Lydia stand today?
I'll say, like in the pods, a lot of the women, we leaned on each other. And I felt like when I had the emotional capacity to show love to people who were really needing that support, I did my best. And I think Lydia and I both did that for each other and a few other women there. And now I feel like we just have a mutual respect because we've both had conversations with each other where, it was like, okay, we need to be open and honest about everything. And I feel that moment was reached with us on both sides with Uche and Lydia. And so I do respect them both. I wish them the best, and I want them both to be happy. And I believe that they want that for me as well.
Having gone through this experiment, do you still think that love is blind?
I was deeply in love. I was in love. I was all the things.
Sure.
So yes.
Would y'all do it again? No regrets. Would you do anything?
No regrets.
Well,
no.